Hey. I remembered to put my mic on. Good morning, folks. That was Emotion by I Am a Smoke Machine. I don't know why I didn't think of using his music to start my streams until now, since I shouldn't get a copyright strike, although maybe he will sue me for use of that. Um, we might be a few years off of that. Check out more of I Am a Smoke Machine's music. I'm going to put links in the description once this goes up on VOD. But if you just look up I Am a Smoke Machine on SoundCloud or YouTube, you'll find it. And as I'm telling everyone, get on the ground floor with his music now. I am embarrassing him, and I don't care. Happy weekend, everybody. We are well and truly in February now. Wild. And I know I'm going to say that about each and every month for the rest of my life. But yeah, February. Well and truly in Aquarius season. My birthday month. We got the Adelaide Fringe kicking off in a couple weeks. We're well and truly, I'm in the zone with school. We are in the zone of the year, which is crazy. This is going to be an episode of the Chill Out Show, a stream and a video where we just relax, where we take a bit of a break. No hot takes, no heated arguments, nothing full on, just a chance to just have a chill and have a chat. The world is a lot right now, as it often is, but let's just take a break. So we are going to play some movie games. We're going to talk about what I have been watching, reading, listening to, and I'm going to share my Dreamsnap for this week from Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's a good thing. I thought about streaming, putting it together. It's a good thing I didn't. It's been a bit of a ride this week. But yeah, that's going to be our show. Hope you stick around. So, movie games for today. We're going to start, as always, with the box office game, where we try to guess what were the top 5 films at the box office on a particular weekend. So, we've got April 11th, 2008. April's interesting because sometimes it can be early hits, but we're not quite in summer yet. Where it's a bit early for Oscar players, but we'll see how we go. 2008 is always good when it's a year that I have been alive. So 2008, I was 20, almost in my final year of university. So let's see what we've got. We've got a movie in its first week of release. And, oh no, immediately we're starting with what looks like a horror movie, which is not my forte. Yeah, okay. We're not starting strong. Oh, and it's coming out in April, not October, which means it probably wasn't. Oh my god, the suspense is killing me. Are you serious? What are you doing to me, box office game? Prom night. Okay, it's literally just called Prom Night. All right, I don't know why it's doing this to me. I might refresh the page. All right, there we go. Okay, Prom Night. Never heard of it. That's a movie that doesn't exist. So yeah, it not a huge hit. Evidently. So good start. Excellent beginning. All right, Fox Searchlight in its first week of release. So this is like a small, their city, their rules, no prisoners. Keanu and Forrest Whitaker. Oh no. this is Keanu before John Wick. Chris Evans is in this movie? What? This is a stacked cast, but there's no way Street Kings. Okay, this is a week where shit's getting dumped. This is a movie that doesn't exist as well. That barely looks like Keanu Reeves on the poster. What the hell? Tom Ludlow is a disillusioned LA police officer really playing by the rules. Ooh, what an interesting premise for a film. And haunted by the death of his wife. This sounds like a parody. When evidence implicates him in the execution of a fellow officer. This is like 8 movies mashed into one, isn't it? He's forced to go up against the cop culture he's been a part of his entire career, ultimately leading him to question the loyalties of everyone around him. Did not make a lot of money. Sounds bad. Alright. I'm not taking the blame for not knowing what these 2 movies were. Alright, number 3. We got a Sony picture in its 3rd week of release. So ticking along. They proved the Vegas blackjack system was beatable by beating the hell out of it. Oh, I think, is this 21? It is! A movie that also kind of doesn't exist. I've seen it. I don't remember anything about it. I'm pretty sure it's based on a true story about a bunch of like college kids who like figured out how to, play blackjack and rig it. But pretty forgettable. I did see that movie, I think like in a hotel or something. Alright, oh god, this is bleak. This is what I mean about April. You're usually not going to get a heck of a lot coming out in the first quarter of the year. Alright, number 4 at the box office is a movie in its 2nd week. It's already dropped to number 4. It opened at 2. The tagline is, be the hero of your own story. That could be the tagline of about 7,000 movies. Abigail Breslin. Jodie Foster. Is this is this Nim's Island? It is. God, how good is Abigail Breslin? Another movie that like sort of doesn't exist, although I'm sure it's very important for particular kids who came of age watching that movie. I know the sequel has Bindi Irwin in it. Not a movie I've seen. Another not a big hit. Oofa doofa. This is a weekend. All right, final one. This has been a bleak one, folks. A movie in its 2nd week at the box office. The tagline is, if love is a game, who'll make the first pass. Oh, shit. George Clooney and... Oh. What is this? What romantic comedy which was George Clooney, Renee Zellweger, and John Krasinski in? What the hell? A lighthearted comedy about the beginnings of professional American football? When a decorated war hero and college all-star is tempted into playing professional football, that's not a sentence. They put a... Oh, no. I was going to say, it's never a good sign when the tagline is all in capitals. If everyone sees a chance to make big money, but when a reporter digs up some dirt on the war hero, everyone could lose out. This is a Leatherheads. Oh, God. This is a week of... Look at that poster. Oh, my goodness. I'm curious about this one. Yeah, a six in the IMDb ratings. That seems about right. Wow. And then no one. Oh, what a week. April 2008. We're about to have a recession, and I feel like you can tell from this. Oh, geez. I got 2 of those? Far out. Okay, that's not a great start for us. But maybe this is the week I finally prove to you that I'm good at the Cinenerdle game about Letterboxd. But let's try the traditional Cinenerdle. Oh, I know what this is. Ah, not the Martin. It's the Martian. I am often. I don't care about the weekly theme, not gonna lie. Um, I scare myself sometimes with how I can get these with just one frame. Sometimes movies I haven't seen. I feel like them classifying it as drama is a little bit of a nod, an ironic nod to the controversy around the Golden Globes where this film was submitted as a comedy. Not that it's not funny, um, but like, come on. I mean, the Golden Globes having those two categories anyway is just like rife for controversy. But yeah, it's not really a comedy. I do really like that movie. It loses a lot, and I'm not a big like the book is always better. I think you can make wonderful adaptations of books, but there's just some stuff that it really misses. And of course, Andy Weir's second film adaptation is coming this year that I'm very excited about. I've spoken about it before. Project Hail Mary was one of the best books I read last year. I was shocked by how much I loved it. And the trailers so far look pretty good. There's a lot they could mess up, though. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 hours long, which I'm not sad about. But anyway, The Martian, which I got from the potatoes he grows with his poop. Anyway, most of Sinner to Nurdles is too hard for me. But this I can generally do until I film myself. This is what we have discovered, that when I did this the other day, I got Notting Hill in one review. Whenever I'm filming myself, suddenly I can't do it. So that's gonna prove to be the case here. I just know it. All right, so we're gonna look at reviews. Title really wants to be a campy B movie, but it's really just a poorly done A movie in disguise. Compared to something like Tremors, Title has a bigger budget and bigger name actors, but poor CGI and lazy writing make it fall flat in comparison. Tremor leans into being a low budget campy movie, but Title doesn't know what it is. Extra half staff, actors ridiculous accent. I have an inkling of what it could be, but I don't think I'm right. I'm gonna guess it anyway. That it's The Happening, but no, that is wrong. Cinema kind of peaked with horny 90s creature features, alright, in which Oscar-winning actors were using accents the world had never witnessed before, and practical effects CGI were at odds with each other more than the characters. Okay, so this is a movie. Bring back blowing shit up. Don't make me say it again. So this is. Is this? This isn't the 1998 Godzilla. No. Someone's wearing Converse in the jungle. Is it Anaconda? It is Anaconda. I love that this is 4-star. Letterboxd is such a gift. Actors wearing Converse in the jungle. People keep talking about how insane actors' performance is in this movie, but we're 100% sure he is not actually out there throwing buckets of monkey blood at people. What do you mean they don't play Baby Got Back? This river can kill you in 1,000 ways. Let's be honest, this movie sucks ass. Let's be honest, us true cinephiles, we don't care. It was so funny. The new, like, reboot, remake thing of Anaconda, I feel like I heard so much about that in the lead up of everyone dunking on it, and then it came out and heard nothing. I don't know what the consensus ended up being on that movie. A big old shrug, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Not a movie I saw at the time. But, yeah. In terms of our box office game, we don't have a lot to talk about yet, because nothing's really come out, and nothing's really going to until our GOAT comes out next week, but really until March and Feb. The opening of fantasy box office is well, because it is this first half of the year where very little really comes out. So my first pick doesn't come out till the end of Feb, which is Scream 7. The only thing that's come out so far is The Moment, which hasn't made a ton of money, but hasn't lost a ton of money either at small budget. So that was a good pick. Yeah, where we will get there. So that's our movie games for the week. As always, I always check Cinematrix to see if it's not to like think of answers ahead of time, but just to see if it's something I could do. And I didn't pull it up today because we went through that very fast. We might look. Let's just do it. We got Alan Rickman, we got Dakota Fanning, and we got Eddie Redmayne. Dakota Fanning is the one that I do not feel confident about. Not gonna lie. So that might be where we fall down. But let's see. So let's start with Alan Rickman. There's some obvious ones. A title containing that I would love to not include a single Harry Potter in this grid. I'd really like to do that. Eddie, you know what? Eddie Redmayne's actually the one. In terms of his 100 million, that might be tough. But unfortunately, I am going to put the Danish Girl here. It's probably going to be an obvious answer. Yeah. So if you haven't seen me play this before, you want to get a low percentage because you want to get an unobvious choice. If I get under 20, I'm happy. In terms of this, I am going to go with Jupiter Ascending. I can't believe 20% of people said that. Directed by the Wachowskis. Absolute lunacy, but pretty good. Honestly, it's a good time. I could have put Cloud Atlas. Maybe I should. He's in Cloud Atlas, I think. Anyway, the only one I can think of is that might have made $100 million is that's not a Harry Potter related property is the movie he was in about Stephen Hawking, which I now can't remember what that's called. So we might come back to that. So Dakota Fanning, I'm going to be honest, the only one I can think of is Uptown Girls. Oh, she's in the Twilights. I'm a moron. She's in the bloody Twilights. We're fine. Oh, I'm so happy I remembered that. I was suddenly like, what does she look like as an adult? Oh yeah, I got this. And then Alan Rickman. I mean, Die Hard's the obvious one here. Here we go. I reckon I've got an obscure one. Because he's the voice of the robot. Yeah! In Hitchhikers. Alright, cool. Animated ones are always good. And I know Dakota Fanning did the voice of My Neighbor Totoro as a child. But I don't know if that will register. Alright, Alan Rickman. Big hits he has been in and movies he's been in after the year 2000. You know. Obviously, oh god, what was I was just reading about an obscure movie that he is in. And I reckon, was it Perfume? Damn it! Unless that was the wrong title. I'm gonna have to go back. Damn it. Again, the Harry Potter's obvious. I feel like Robin Hood was a huge flop, right? It's the only one I know. So let's. Excellent. Oh, I was going to say it doesn't have the, but it does. Oh, did that not make $100 million? Am I stupid? Let's put it here then. What? Wait, was she not in those? She was. Okay. Hang on. Or is it? It's not. Yeah, she's in them. So that's rude. The title has the in the title. And they made hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, I'm sorry. I put in... Let me just confirm this cast. Am I completely... Wait, is she not in the first one? Is this what I'm fucking up? Is she just in Breaking Dawn Part 2? She is. This is why I'm a moron. Okay. Ugh. She's not in the first one because the first one's the wedding and the baby. Oh, that's so annoying. That was my bad. Ugh, she's in Eclipse. She's not in Breaking Dawn Part 1. I want to keep playing because that was my mistake. God damn it. Oh, it was 4% too. Because no one remembers she's in those. Oh, I did not think about that. Did not use my brain. Because the first one's just like the wedding and their honeymoon and then the creepy pregnancy. The Volturi don't get involved until Part 2. God damn it. All right. What was Alan Rickman in after 2000 that was not a Harry Potter movie? Oh. This is going to be a popular option, but I just want to fill this grid now. Yep, okay. Do I just go Die Hard? Like, do I do the obvious thing? Oh, you know what? That's not as high as I thought. Now, in any Redmayne movie, what? Oh, it's The Theory of Everything. I don't know if this was a big hit, but like... Oh, no. Yeah, okay. So that worked. Oh, no. Wait. Oh, that was before it. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Yeah, so Fantastic Beasts. I feel very proud of not doing that. Oh, she's in War of the Worlds. So look, I got I got a lot of the most popular ones. This is why I didn't want to do this. I knew I wasn't going to be good at this one. But I'm proud that I didn't put any Harry Potters in there. So okay, hang on. Perfume is in there, but did it not come out? When did Perfume come out? I didn't get the title right. See, I knew he was in that movie because I knew it had like a tagline. That's why I didn't. I was looking up. It's Perfume, the Story of a Murderer. Okay. I should have got that. So there's a couple that I should have got if I'd used my brain. All right. We kind of got there in the end, team. Kind of. Anyway, let's pivot. And let's just have a chat about what we've been watching. So it's been a while since I've done this, I think. So please forgive me if I repeat myself of anything I've talked about before. And I'm not just going to talk, as always, not just going to talk about what I've been watching. We're talking about reading, listening to, etc. But what I've been watching, in terms of TV, for a lot of the end of last year, we were watching Archer, which we finally finished. And then, which is like, there's definitely some dull spots in that show, but it remains remarkably consistent, and genuinely hilarious right up until the final season. Some parts of the finale frustrated me, not gonna lie. But anyway, then over the summer, we before the summer we started watching Community, which my partner Smoke has never seen. But over the summer, got interrupted to watch the Big Bash cricket season, which, you know, is on pretty much every night. So that becomes the television in this household for January, for December, January. And so we're back into Community now. And it's so, like, that show starts pretty strong. But it's funny because the last episode we watched before kind of cricket really kicked off was the Christmas episode. That just timed out really well. And that is where they kind of take a break and then come back and for semester 2. And I'm pretty sure that was a mid-season break. And you just feel it click in as they figure some shit out. Like, they really harness the Troy and Abed pairing. They figure Britta's whole thing out. They're still working on it with Alison Brie and Annie and a few of the other things, but the external, like the rest of the community is getting more involved, and yeah, that's really clicking. And I haven't rewatched that in so long, and so I'm really enjoying diving into that. And it's making me very nostalgic for the era of TV where, like, I remember when we got a whole season of like 25 episodes and the creators were able to figure shit out as they went and it didn't all get binged. And anyway, so that's the TV sitch. In terms of movies I watched over the summer, of course, not as many as I wanted to. And I realized as I was going through my Letterboxd and stuff, the 3 movies we really watched over the summer were all watched on the days when it was 45 degrees and we couldn't leave the caravan. So one of those was finally watching Wake Up Dead Man. I don't think I've talked about it yet, but maybe I have. If so, I don't care because I could talk about these movies forever. They're fantastic. I'm all in on Rian Johnson, and I'm so conflicted about Netflix as a company in terms of what they do with creatives and the creative decisions that they make. The fact that they don't really give them much of a theatrical window sucks. I would have loved to have seen it in the cinema. We just didn't have the opportunity. But they also seem to have just told Rian Johnson, do whatever you want, like, and given him complete creative freedom. So I'm not gonna like boohoo that at all. And the Knives Out franchise, really the Benoit Blanc franchise, is so fascinating because they definitely all feel of a piece of each other and they have the same kind of worldview, but they're all so different. They all have a different tone and a different structure and a different energy to them. And Wake Up Dead Man is no exception, and it's brilliant, but so different from the other two, who are different from each other as well. And it's a lot darker in tone than the other two. But just some incredible performances, some really emotional stuff in there that I think the other two don't have as much. And yeah, I just want Daniel Craig and Benoit Blanc to continue forever. And I love how much fun Daniel Craig is clearly having in these movies still, and how much he loves making them. And so many people who work on these movies talk about how great Rian Johnson is to work with, and I love that. But the fact that Daniel Craig was so burnt out on James Bond, and now he's found a character that he's like, I will happily play this man until I die. That makes me really happy. So Wake Up Dead Man. Then another very hot day, we watched The 39 Steps. And one of my goals for this year with my movie watching is to watch more like old classics. And Smoke has seen it and loved it. And so we watched that. And that is such a ride. And it is always great to watch Hitchcock and watch someone invent so many things we now take for granted in movies, and that are now tropes and cliches, but he was doing them for the first time. And it's so funny but at the same time you're watching that movie and you think you know where it's going to go because it's such an old classic movie, but you don't. And it was so unexpectedly funny. So that was a really good time. And then while I was sitting in my classroom when school went back, setting things up, and I wanted to just put on movies that would just blend into the background that I knew heaps, really well. I didn't really need to watch. So I put on When Harry Met Sally, a movie I can definitely quote pretty much by heart, and was kind of on my mind because next weekend I have an audition with just an amateur local theatre company for a play and a role that I'd really like to do. And we have to do, the audition scene, but we also have to do a monologue from something else. And straight away, my brain went to something from a movie like When Harry Met Sally. And so I think I'm going to do the scene that Meg Ryan, the monologue that Meg Ryan gives where she's describing how and why she broke up with her partner, which is, funny and a little bit sad. And I just know that speech completely. That movie is so brilliant. It literally has a cast of about 4 people. There's a couple of other people in it, but generally speaking, it is mostly just Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, with then Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher thrown in there, who are both brilliant too. And that script is so good. Nora Ephron is, I have a Nora Ephron shirt. I'm a huge Nora Ephron stan, but it's so clever, and obviously on my mind a lot as well because of Rob Reiner's absolutely tragic recent passing. I'd say the tribute to the Oscars to him in a few weeks is going to be a time. But yeah, that movie is so thoughtfully directed, largely because he does just get out of their way. He just lets Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal just go back and forth, and that's what most of the movie is, and just lets their chemistry rip. And God, that movie is amazing. And still just ending still just made me cry. And then the other one I threw on was Clueless, which the thought that I had with that was, that movie is obviously such a classic, so beloved. I still think we underrate how funny that script is. The way Amy Heckerling plays with language in that movie is out of control. So that was a good time. And then that led into another very, very hot day where we really were bracing ourselves a little bit. It was a terrible fire condition day, and trying to distract my brain. And we watched My Cousin Vinny, which it's a movie I haven't seen for ages. And for some reason, it had been on my mind to rewatch. And with the exception of the huge age gap between Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, that movie is just on fire. It is so funny. If you have not seen it, it is just an absolute cracker. And also I know it is held up by people in the law profession as one of actually the most accurate courtroom films in terms of how it actually shows procedure and how something might actually work. And it's great because it's not a movie that has villains. It's just a movie about the process. It is very funny to me that Ralph Macchio is second billed in that movie and has nothing to do. He has the least interesting role. I'm so aware of the flies in this room right now. This is effectively a half an outdoor space, I will say. I might try and keep them away a little bit. But yeah, such a ripper and good time. Obviously Marissa Tomei, infamously great in it, but she's not she has that big speech at the end, but she's great. She's a firecracker that whole time. So good. A movie I feel like I haven't yet seen, that I started to watch is Some Like It Hot. So yeah, I mentioned I want to watch some old classic movies, and I started to watch that the day the bushfire broke out that was nearby. I got 25 minutes in. I was loving it. Was actually really annoyed that got interrupted. And so I haven't gone back to it. I'm dying to finish that because I was having such a good time. And it was also in my brain because, again, I watched Clueless afterwards because I'd been thinking about Spartacus and was thinking of that line in Clueless where it's, Christian was a huge Tony Curtis fan, so he bought over Some Like It Hot and Spartacus. And I loved Spartacus when I watched that a year or so ago. So I'm dying to get back into something like it hot. Casablanca is on my list to watch. We've obviously got the Oscars coming up. Every year I would say I would love to watch, some of the Oscars films. I mentioned my embarrassment last week that the only Best Picture nominee I have seen this year is F1. I really feel like I need to change that. There's a couple I know I couldn't handle watching. Like, I'm not going to watch Begonia. I think I would love Hamnet. I think it would emotionally destroy me. I know Sinners is quite dark, but I'm really curious about that one. The main Oscar nominee, not a Best Picture nominee, but I do feel like I need to see K-pop Demon Hunters. The lock for Best Song. And I really want to see, I know I've mentioned this before, Blue Moon, which I'm hoping Ethan Hawke gets his first Oscar for. Chalamet was the front runner, but a few things that have come out in recent times, and I'm not going to talk about because this is a chill, cozy stream, may have gotten in the way of Chalamet's chances, but we will see. I'd love to see Hawke get his first Oscar, and apparently that movie is just brilliant. So, that's been the main things that I have been watching. We've also this weekend been trying to watch some of the Winter Olympics, but no one's making it easy. I tell you what. The Olympics should just be either just free for everyone around the world, or like a centralized streaming service website that pops up every, couple years for the Winter and then the Summer Olympics. You pay $5 for it or something. They'd make money where you can just watch whatever's going on, because our free-to-air channel has a bit of it, but not everything. And then the streaming service that has all of it is like $20 a month, like additionally, like to get Stan Sports, and I'm not doing that. But we did watch some of the downhill skiing and some of the cross country skiing, or the skiathlon as they call it, which looks ridiculous. I know it's very hard, but it's so funny to watch people walk up, like basically run uphill in skis, where you just like take them off. I know there's nuance to it. But there's like the time zone is so tricky. There's not much that we can watch when it's live. So we were able to watch a little bit last night, but like the curling was on last night. Wasn't showing that anywhere that we could easily access. So that's been a bit annoying. The other stuff I've been watching has honestly been a lot of the McElroy family content. I've talked about the McElroy family before. Generally 3 brothers who have been making media content on the internet for as long as you've kind of been able to do that. Their podcast is going to hit 800 episodes this week. I don't know if they've missed like a handful of weeks in the years that they've been doing it. But the last couple of years they've been doing a lot more video form content. Justin and Griffin founded Polygon, when that was founded, and they used to do video content for them. But the last couple of years they've really started streaming, and so the last couple of years they've had a show called McElroy Family Clubhouse, where once a week they have either played a video game, or on alternate weeks played like another kind of game, or just kind of chatted about stuff. And it's been like, it's super fun to watch. The streams go for about an hour. It's great. And this year they've flipped that they're just going to do mostly their video game content, like 3 weeks out of a month. They're going to do video content that they're calling Super McElroy Brothers. And then the final Tuesday of the month, they'll do a clubhouse, because those take a bit more time to set up, which is great. But also each of them are going to do their own individual streams. So 4 streams a week by these fellas whose just content is always so comforting and funny, and is just like good, wholesome fun. So like this week as a trio, they played Are We There Yet, which was great. Justin is playing old vintage games, particularly FMV games, like games that have video. He's been trying to play Steven Spielberg's Director's Chair, which has not gone super well. It has made me feel good about technical issues in my streams. It's not the most interesting game to watch, even without the technical problems. But that's been a time, like, 'cause it was a game that Steven Spielberg like made and has Quentin Tarantino and Penn and Teller and Jennifer Aniston in it. It's wild. I've thought about maybe streaming it, but I don't think it would be a super good time. Maybe just like having a look at it. Because a lot of it's just watching these badly made clips. Anyway, then Travis is doing a series he's calling ADHD Detective, where he's playing like an escape room type puzzle game, which is actually probably like it's not the best. I really like what Griffin's doing too, but it's very cozy and very comforting, and even when like you have to almost not pay attention too much, so you're just watching him solve the puzzles rather than getting ahead of the game. And then Griffin's doing another Trial by Fieri run where he plays an old Legend of Zelda game, but a randomizer where all the items are not where they should be, and where he dies after one hit. And it's called Trial by Fieri because he usually tries to use a skin of Guy Fieri. He hasn't been able to get that organized for this one just yet. He's playing Majora's Mask? Is that what it's called? Majorca's Mask? Yeah, that 4 streams a week, just like to watch right before you go to bed. It's just as you're chilling out. That's a good time. And then reading, honestly, hit a bit of a slump again with that. But over January, I read a few. I read the last book in the Stella Street series, which was a series that I loved as a kid, and didn't realize that there was like 3 more sequels that had been written since I have not been a child anymore. And I read From Stella Street to Amsterdam, which came out in 2020, and was about, this teenage girl who going to Amsterdam and learning a lot about World War II through that experience, it was a really, really good book. I was really moved by it, and I hope she writes more. But she's also, I know she's getting on. I would love to try and find a way to write her a letter and talk about how much her books have meant to me, both as a kid and as an adult, like rediscovering them as an adult. And then I read the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, which is a series I can't believe I've gotten into as much as I have. I've talked before about how I read the first one and was kind of meh on it. I read it because I knew it was a bestseller, and I was trying to read some of the biggest books of the last 5 years, and realized part of the reason why it was a bestseller was because the author was already famous. And I thought the first one was fine. I liked enough to read the second one, and I will say the books have gotten, the second and the third one I liked a lot. They are really fun, and the way he's building the characters and building the world is really cool. To the point where it's not a crime fiction series where you could kind of pick any one of them up, but also you'd lose heaps of the story of the characters. If you don't know the premise, it's about a group of people who live in a retirement home who solve crimes. It doesn't help that one of them used to work for MI6. Which one's the fictional one? Anyway, used to be a spy. So I read The Last Devil to Die, which I generally liked. That was book 4. I liked it less than 2 and 3. But again, enough to pick up the 5th one, which I'm currently reading. And they're good because they are just light and easy to read. They're easy to just pick up. In between those, I read a book I don't really want to talk about. I read a book by an author whose first book I loved very much, and I read their second book, which came out a few years ago. And then I will admit, this is not me just being smug, I didn't like it all that much. And I was really disappointed by it. And then the next day, news about the author came out that made me never want to read anything by him ever again. So that was both vindicating and deeply disappointing. So we're not even going to talk about that in this space. But that's why I picked up Impossible Fortune, the 5th Thursday Murder Club, because I was like, I just need a chill read, which is funny that crime fiction works like that. I could never read true serious crime, but cozy crime fiction, I realized I like very much. One of my goals for this year is to read some Agatha Christie, because I never have, and I feel like she's one I need to read. Now, as I've been reading the Thursday Murder Club, I've been like, oh, I think I quite like, because I love police procedurals, lighthearted ones like your Castles and your Elementaries and things like that. So Impossible Fortune is what I'm currently reading. I'm just a couple of chapters into that, and I need to build up my reading routine back up. And the other one that I've got sitting there from the library is Babel, which I started last month and loved it, but then had to return it to the library before I could finish it. It was one of those books where I was reading sentences out loud to smoke, because I was like, this book is so beautifully written. So I can't wait to get into that. I'm a bit annoyed though, because the second copy I've picked up is a hardback, and I find hardbacks, and it's quite a big book, and I find hardbacks so hard to physically read and carry around. So that's a bit annoying. But yeah, that's what we're currently reading. And then the latest book by Alex E. Harrow, who's probably one of my favorite authors. No, she's definitely one of my favorite. I was debating whether to say she is my favorite author. She's up there. Writes these incredible feminist fantasy books. Her latest has come out. I gave it to my mum for Christmas, and I just want her to read it so I can then read it. I may have to steal it and read it before she does. And in terms of what I have been listening to, I will say, obviously, the usual podcast, my brother and me, the McElroy podcast. And I've also been listening a lot to their video game podcast, The Besties, which has made me put a bunch of games on my wish list. And I really enjoy their perspective on video games. But I haven't been listening to a lot of other kind of podcasts other than those couple, because I've been listening to a lot more music. Life as a Showgirl has finally kind of clicked for me. I was so underwhelmed by it, as many people were. It didn't make me as angry as it made a lot of people. But I kind of listened to it a couple of times and then just had no desire to pick it up again. But the last few weeks, I've been just putting it on, and it's just like, it's a good time. It doesn't make me like feel anything like some of her previous albums have, but it's just fun. It's fun to sing along to. The Opalite video came out yesterday, and that's like really fun and clever. It feels a little bit out of step with where we're at with the world, and I know the calls on her to use her platform are getting stronger, and rightly so, but I have been enjoying that album a bit more than I have. Also been listening to a lot of Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion, which I was listening to a lot of last year. That's still an album that I just stick on when I just want to listen to something fun. That album's such a good time. Been listening to a bit of Casey Musgraves, just as this seems like something you would like. And yeah, that it's a bit more country than usual, but her song Rainbow I really like. So that's been cool. And then the other week, of course, was Triple J's Hottest 100. There was a couple of songs I discovered on that I liked. But then the next day, Double J replayed the Triple J's Hottest 100 from 2005. And that was cool because obviously a lot of songs I remembered, but then also a lot of songs that I didn't remember that I just really clicked with, because of course that's like my coming of age era. I'm like first year uni in 2005. And a song I've been listening to a lot is the song Doo-Doos and What-Ohs by Kiss Chasey, an objectively kind of terrible title. And then just been listening to Kiss Chasey in general, who I never really listened to back in the day. And it is just like the perfect pop punk band that my Panic at the Disco loving soul has really clicked with. That song makes me really, really happy. And then Tessa Violet, who is one of my favorite artists, she's doing a thing this year where she is releasing a new song every month, which is hugely ambitious. And the twos that she's released so far have been so good. They're two of her best, if not her best work. It's a really different, not just really different, but just very introspective. And, you know, she's about my age, so talking about a lot of stuff that I'm really clicking with. And I made the mistake. Her first song is called Knowing. I played that at the beginning of a stream a few weeks ago. Second song that's just come out is called I Love Being Wrong. And I made the mistake of listening to it right as I was driving to work. And it was going to make me cry. And if I wasn't like about to drive into work, I probably would have. They're both so good. And I'm really, really excited as to what she's going to keep making this year, because I'm really, really vibing with what she's doing so far. And then the other song that's just been in my head for like the last month and a half. It almost feels silly to bring it up, but is the Songify the News version of the Korn interview, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. There was a viral interview with a little kid through the YouTube series Recess Therapy, where he was talking about how much he loves Korn, and then the Gregory brothers did their Auto-Tune the News thing with it. And it's a genuinely really catchy song, and the amount of times Smoke and I are just bursting out and singing it. And I was practicing my guitar for the first time in months the other day, because I played live for the first time in a very long time the other night at our school's welcome evening, and I was practicing the songs I was going to play, and then I was just kind of noodling around with other stuff, and then Smoke brought that song up. I was like, hang on, let me see if I can find the chords. I could. They're very easy, and so I think I want to do a music stream at some point, and I will bust that out. I will learn that in its entirety because that was very, very fun. It was crazy playing live for the first time, and I was sandwiched between two like artists that are exceptionally better than me, so I felt a bit like about it. But it's always fun to sing live, and just to get out the guitar again. So yeah, that's been my music business. And then in terms of playing games, still playing obviously a bit of Dreamlight Valley, which we'll talk about in a moment, but falling off that a bit as I talked about last week and wanting to get into some different games. I finished Frame 2 after my stream last week. I might stream I literally just had like 3 puzzles left when I got stuck in last week's stream. So I might just stream the ending because I did just do it off stream because I went, if I get really stuck, this is going to be terrible. I did have to get a bit of a hint from Google for it, but then I got to the finish line. I'm really disappointed there's not more of those games and they're not longer because I really vibed with those. But oh well. Then I've been playing a bit of Make Room, which is just a very quiet, cozy game where you just decorate rooms. And so at the beginning, like, you get a request, like, make this room into a cozy reading nook, make this into a gamer's sanctuary, make this into a media room, and that's a really fun, just like chill out experience. I do love decorating, as you have seen in my Disney Dreamlight Valley world. Then yesterday with the puzzle game thing, I mentioned last week that I picked up Portal for the first time, which I really loved, but it made me feel sick. And that stopped me from picking it up again. I've looked at it and I'd really love to finish it, and then I'd love to play Portal 2, but it gave me so much motion sickness, and I don't really want to feel that again. Last night when we were watching the downhill skiing, they showed the run from like a POV shot, and I was like, I can't watch that, man. So yeah, that's not ideal. But then yesterday I picked up a couple of other games, just like ones I just have in my collection that I bought ages ago that I've never played. I tried to play Bastion, which is really cute, and I really like the art style, but is mostly a combat game, and I have talked before about how combat is like the least interesting thing to me with gaming, and there didn't seem much other than moving through areas and then like killing the things and then moving on to the next one. And I was like, oh, this is cute, and I really like the art style, but I don't think this game's for me. I played about 20 minutes of it. Maybe I'll give that another shot. But then I picked up again, these are games that's just been in my collection that I've either never played or only picked up a little bit. The Masupalami game, which is a side scroller, and I'd only played it for like 7 minutes or something in previous, and I guess I bounced off of it. But I played it a fair bit yesterday, and I was really, really digging it. And I'm not usually like a speed run kind of person, but when you finish the levels, it then gives you a time trial option. And I kind of like the idea of maybe trying to get really good at some of those levels, because the mechanics are fun. And I do just like a good basic like platform game. So yeah, that's been what I've been playing. Because I am getting to that plateau section of Disney Dreamlight Valley, though a new Star Path is coming out in 2 weeks, so that might take some of my attention. But what I do always, of course, log on to do is my Dreamsnap. So in Disney Dreamlight Valley, every week you get like a theme to make a photo of, and sometimes it's an outfit challenge, sometimes it's a decorating challenge, and then people vote for you and you get some of the premium currency. And it's always worth doing, because even if you don't do well, you get like at least a bit of the premium currency. So a couple of weeks ago, I did this. This was for Hair with Flair was the theme. And I was really proud of this. I had a lot of fun. I did it very quickly. And there's people who spend hours on this stuff, which I'm just never going to do. Although this weekend we got close. And this didn't do this didn't do very well. Not gonna lie, I only got a few hundred moonstones, but like people went crazy with this one. Like, oh my god. I probably should have put color in the hair maybe, but I thought this was cute. And then I didn't save the one I did. Then it was Pattern Party, which I did make on stream as well. If you're really curious, you can go back. And I did like a floral motif, and I got my score back for this. I got like 1,500 moonstones. I'm pretty happy with that. Then the one that's currently being voted on. God, what's that one? What's the Oh no, that's the one that's the one that I just got. Why am I blanking on it? That was Pattern Party. And Architecture, right. That also was not very interesting. It was like, show us your best architecture. And so I didn't want to like redo a whole bunch of my valley, so I just put up I did like an Aladdin themed one. I don't really know how that's gonna go. But this week, I don't remember the exact wording, but it's called like Illusion, and it was a decorating challenge where it was like blend reality and magic, and I was like, what the fuck? And some people have said that they think it's them trying to find the glitches in the game, which is funny, but there's no way that's the case. My pet theory is the people who go absolutely all out on these dream snaps often do like magical kind of effects. So they often do portal shots where they'll get like an archway or a doorway, and they put a bunch of stuff just behind that and make it look like there's a portal, and they do that for other dream snaps. And so I think they're trying to be like, well, here's one where you can show all your magic tricks like that, but now it means that everyone's gonna do a flippin' portal. So I was trying to think outside the box for something that was magical. It's so weird. So a lot of people online, yes, I am in these communities, are talking about like, I don't really get it or what they want. I guess it's just, and some people have done some like truly incredible stuff. So my first idea that I ultimately did not go with was, I was looking at Oswald and Mickey and how they're like two kind of versions of each other. And so I was going to try and do like a black and white versus colored kind of realm. So this is the first one that I did, which is fine. It's too blank. Like, I don't have hardly anything in the foreground. Like, I put everything at the back for some reason. I don't know why I even did that. And I think I was just not happy with the idea and how it was turning out. Getting these two on the correct sides in the right spaces was driving me mad. They've added ways to have a little bit more control over it, but you don't have that much. I did, of course, this morning see a hint on how to do it a bit better and how to get characters where you want. I was like, that's a really good idea. Too late. So I took this and was like, nah, this isn't good. Like, again, the couches should be further down. Like, so much stuff. I was not feeling it. I submitted it and was like, no. But then I could not think of another kind of magic idea. I've never done a portal shot before. I didn't want to do one. So I ended up coming up with something that I don't even know if it fits the theme, because it is a decorating challenge, but this is what I came up with, where I just got a bunch of mannequins. I think this was the final one I went with. This was the first one I took. I did a few different versions. The only one I'm disappointed with the second one is, like, in this first one you can see the two tiny little minis. In this one you can only see one. But, that's okay. So, because you can see all the mannequins and then just fill this room with mirrors and like kind of trippy looking stuff. It's a little bit almost Twin Peaks-y. And my idea is, this kind of clone situation. I could have turned all of the mannequins like backwards so you couldn't see that they had blank faces, but I almost feel like that's creepier. I don't know I don't know what. I kind of like this shot. I think it looks really cool. But I don't know if it fits the theme, like, even a little bit. But And I did this so much faster. Like, it took me so much longer to do the other one that I didn't end up using. I'd maybe like to try and do that again for a different thing of, like, the black and white versus the color. But I, I don't know if this is an illusion. Yeah, I kind of like that she's looking at herself in the camera, and there's all these mirrors, and it's like a weird clone situation. I don't even know. I don't even know, man. But yeah, a new Star Path starts up in a couple days. So Dreamlight Valley might take my attention. I have downloaded the Animal Crossing update, but I don't know if I want to dive back into Animal Crossing. There's so much stuff about Animal Crossing that I find that I love, of course, but that I find really frustrating that Dreamlight Valley does so much better. But who knows? Maybe I'll dive back in at some point. I don't have an easy way to stream Switch stuff yet, but I can't wait till I can again. Because that's gonna be fun. I love to stream some old retro games. With that. So with that, I think we're kind of done. Thank you for watching the Chill Out Show, just our cozy little space. Next week we'll be back with playing some games. It is Valentine's Day next weekend, so my plan is to do some dating games. We might dive back into How to Fool Boyfriend, which is the pigeon dating game I streamed a couple years ago. And I'd like to stream Dream Daddy for the first time. And actually, I picked that up. That's a game I've had for ages. I picked it up, started playing it, and went, oh no, I want to stream this for the first time with people. So I think I'm going to do that next week for a Valentine's Day spectacular. That's my plan for next week. But for this week, the weather has stayed nice and mild. Here, there has been, sadly, as I mentioned, oh no, it hadn't even happened yet. God, there's been another major bushfire breakout in the local area, not close to us this time, but has been really scary and devastating. So, and a lot of other stuff going on, but this has been nice to just chill and chat. Last little thing. So Woolworths, one of our major supermarket chains, every now and then does a little, like, if you spend this much, you get a little blah. And sometimes I pick them up depending on what they are. If they're Disney things, I often do. But often it's, it's junky stuff. But at the moment, they're doing compatible with leading brands brick-esque items. So compatible with Lego, although they're not allowed to say that. So I picked up a few of these little guys. This is the influencer trick, right? To focus it. The lighting in here is so bad though. It's not gonna work. You get the idea, right? So I have the dad. It's a whole little family. I have the grandma. I actually have two of the grandma. I have the little girl who plays cricket. What's the best way to? Wearing a little cricket jersey, which I like. I also have the microwave, which in comparison, ratio-wise to the people, is very funny to me. And then yesterday I got a dupe of the grandma, but also got the dog, which I enjoy very much. Again, size-wise to the adults. Little pot plant. Excellent. And then they are also selling little sets that go with this as well. But like, they're compatible with Lego and so much cheaper than Lego, made out of recycled plastic. So I did buy a tiny little set. It was $6 of like this little koala in a tree, and then also had this little tree with a little possum with babies on it, and a little kangaroo, which I meant does not look a kangaroo, and a little bush turkey. So I will probably be getting more of those sets as the month goes on. So I've been enjoying that. Especially since I have no space to really build Lego anymore. But anyway, that's been our week. Next week we'll be back with a Valentine's Day special of some dating video games and maybe news about my audition. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Continue to look after yourselves and the people around you. Hold on to them tight, and you will see me soon. Bye.